headed towards our 500th. We're headed towards our 500th episode. And we've got some giveaways we want to do. So make sure that we're all ready to go with that. So looking forward to hitting 500 and making things rock and roll. So guys, what do we have on the list of crazy? I know things have just in the last 24 hours, we've had a pretty significant situation in the world with some stuff, but in the last month, we've definitely had some stuff too.
Yeah, it's nice to be missing for a little while at least, right? When I get back, I'm like, I'm deleting everything. I don't even want to be seen anymore. It's I don't know what else to say about that, but like, yeah, get me out of here.
What's crazy? It's like we're more than halfway through the year.
58%. 58%. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah, we've not seen. We've not seen is the right word. We have seen so many things drop into the 2025 bingo card that we were not even expecting. Right, and it feels like that's the new norm.
Mm-hmm.
The last 4 years, 5 years, it's just been like what, and it's not just the news media, but it's like the world tensions, the disasters, natural and man-made. Right, we had an 8.8 earthquake.
Yep.
My sister and her family are in Hawaii. They had to climb up the mountain a bit, go up the hill because they have tsunami warnings all last night from the earthquake. And they're like, "Well, we'll see what happens." My brother-in-law has this big sailboat that he was going to leave to go to Alaska. Had to postpone that. Then his motor went out, but then they had to stay out in the ocean while the tsunamis came through. And he's just like, "It is what it is," right? And so you do everything you can, and then we got to expect the unexpected.
And I think kind of like what Rebecca's saying here, people standing out on the beaches waiting for the tsunami. Really? I mean, yes, it was forecasted to be small, right? But forecast doesn't mean reality, right? You never know what actually is going to happen. And I think of everything we keep seeing, what I hear all the time is, "Oh, this has happened before. This is normal. There's no big deal." I beg to differ. I think that's part of the programming, and using the air quotes, that we see all the time is that, yes, our weather seems weird, but it's like this every year. It does to one extent or another, but I think everything piling and compounding on top of each other itself is really what makes it stand out to me, right? Yeah. It's not just this thing here or there, like, oh, this happens all the time. Yeah, maybe you could say that about one instance over here or over there, but and I think it takes some, I don't know the right word here, some deprogramming, anti-programming, whatever you want to call it, to open your eyes and be able to actually see what the reality is, right? I think the reality is that these things are not normal. Sorry. You can argue with me all you want, but I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, they're definitely not normal.
I don't even know where in Russia this thing hit. So, when I looked up the 8.8 earthquake, I was like, okay, not only is it an earthquake, but it was I think a volcano.
Kamchatka.
It was a volcano eruption. Peninsula. So it's like, well, let's just add another threat to the list here and make it a volcano and an earthquake and a tsunami. Like, what else can we throw in here to make this a serious threat to the world?
Dude, it's insane. What we're going through is insane. It's just, it's crazy. And honestly, we're told to be, like, scripturally, we're told to be prepared for these things in the last days, right? Mm-hmm. How can we be alive and not see all this happening and say, there is no God? Or there's no end times. There's no like, dude, they're batting 1,000 on the odds here.
Yeah.
Like, pay attention, get your ship stabilized, get your pantry and your cantry in order, and get yourself aligned. Otherwise, you're going to be in a rough spot, big time.
So yeah, there's the earthquake, which ended up being the 6th largest ever recorded.
Wow.
And so that's not a little thing to me. I mean, I would hear about or learn about the one in Alaska in the, what was that, in like the 60s or something. It was like 9.2 or 9.6 or something, just absolutely enormous. And now, well, not that I got to experience this at all, didn't experience anything other than news articles, right? But other things that just really stand out to me. Have you heard about what's supposed to get here in November?
No.
Just a little hint, just a clue. Anybody else
is there
out there in the chat? What's that?
A planet? Named
Potentially.
Is it Wormwood?
I mean, who knows? But what they're saying is that what it's called is called 3I Atlas. It's the 3rd object ever spotted that is interstellar, 3I, spotted by the Atlas telescope. And of course, there's people or scientists, some people from Stanford or Harvard or Harvard, I think, saying this might be an alien spacecraft.
Well, of course.
And it's not a natural object, right? Yeah, giant alien spaceship. Now it's not supposed to come really anywhere near Earth, but it'll be passing, I think, on the other side of the sun or something in November. So it's that's about as close as it's going to get. It's like 600 times further away than the moon is, something like that. But they're making a big deal of it. I mean, we've seen and we've talked about in the news over the past several months, year or so, how aliens have been a bigger and bigger topic, right? We talk about Project Bluebeam and all these things that they kind of die out and come back, and the government says, "Oh yeah, we know all about this, and we have alien technology and this and that," and then it dies off, and people forget about it, and because our news cycles are so short, right? And but it's kind of persistent. It just, the alien topic keeps coming up,
which is crazy.
Predictive programming, right? They're trying to get us to expect one thing so that we can see exactly what they want us to see and believe it. J.R. Hendry. So, guys, if you don't know, this is our good buddy, J.R. Hendry.
He's over on Facebook, so you won't be able to see his comments here on YouTube. But
so I just shared it across the screen for those of you guys watching.
Cool. Yeah.
Here, so little backstory. Tuning in right as Shane is talking about aliens. So we used to do this podcast as an actual radio show. That's why it's Prepper Talk Radio. JR was almost a monthly occurrence, sometimes more.
Yeah,
for quite a long time. He's one of our favorite guests. He
was one of our sponsors at the time. So,
and we would always joke before and after the show, mostly after the show when we didn't have a time crunch. But we would end up talking about what's that guy? What's the other radio show that was on all the time? And he was always talking about
something to midnight. And is that the
no, like aliens and stuff. Alex Jones, aliens in Washington D.C. We need to get prepared for this. It's happening. I'm the only one telling you about it. You need to be ready for it. And we'd all just sit there and laugh for hours. And here we are, 2025, aliens. Like. We just talked about Independence Day at the beginning of the month, and now at the end of the month, apparently they're showing up. Yeah. Shane, that's 3 for 3 on that topic in the last.
Well, that's true.
30 days.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Like, I don't know. Is it prophetic? I don't know.
I guess we'll find out in November, right? But
we will see.
I just think it's revealing. It's a method. What's the what am I trying to say? Is it's a revelation of the method, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Is they got to mention it, right? So that when or if something happens, or if nothing happens, they're trying to create a diversion or fear or something like that. So it's just interesting. I don't spend too much time on that, but just be able to look back and see the signs. So that's one of the reasons why I try to keep track of certain things, is so that if something does happen, then the picture becomes more clear, right? I can then see looking forward, or as I'm moving forward, when things pop up, and then I can kind of have that sixth sense saying, okay, I know what's going to happen next. I know what they're trying to do. If that makes any sense.
You've seen the plays enough. You've read the playbook. You know what the enemy's running, right? And you're like, oh, this is a split. This is an I formation. I don't even know enough football to even try doing this. But yeah, like, yeah, you know, you're like, this looks all too familiar. And but yet still there's things that we see happening and we're like, I honestly didn't expect that. Like legit, honestly didn't expect. Like we all heard Trump was going to like say no to the CDBCs, right? We all heard that. We expected that, and then he came out and said it, and did it, and then he's like, "But we're going to do a digital dollar, and we're going to do it a different way, and it's going to be big." And I'm like, the record skip, like what?
Yeah,
like so they're not going to get it. So who are you going to tap with your almighty like powerful source of truth and light that you're like, oh, we're going to give it to so and so, they can destroy the world financially? Like who's going to be your crown prince of financial ruin for us?
Yeah,
I mean, really, that's what it is.
Catherine Austin Fitts was saying on an interview she did not too long ago that everybody was like, well, didn't Trump say he was going to do it? And she's like, yeah, he did, but he's going to do it a different way, and it's going to come through anyways, because that's still part of the agenda potentially. So it's like, dang it. You know,
well, he said there would be no CBDC, that he wouldn't allow it. And then he signs this legislation for stable coins, right? And that's what we're speaking about. And hopefully you guys know a little bit about this. And essentially it's just a different way to go about the same thing to get the same results. And so, I mean, that just tells me more about what I already knew about, you know, this leadership, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, who's going to be the one that needs to run the ledger? That's the thing. Who's going to track it all? Who's going to get to turn the on and off switch when we're allowed to use our money and when we're not? Like, we're still going to get the same result.
Unfortunately, it's going to be big private corporations. It's going to be central banks, right? According to the stablecoin.
He basically just took the digital CBDC coin and polished it up real good and slapped a different manufactured by stamp on it.
Just a loophole. It's just a way around this. It's a different route to get to the same destination. Yeah. And at least my opinion, I get people asking me all the time, what do I think about crypto? And, you know, there's just even Sean Ryan, I think, had a guy on his show not too long ago, and he was talking about how it's just a huge method for them to have control over anything and everything that they want us to want to control us with. So it's like, if we don't want you to buy certain things at a certain time or in a certain neighborhood or in a certain zip code, we can kind of shut things down, turn it off, and say, sorry, you can't, we got the control over that. And that's absolutely possible. And that's just the thing that kind of scares anybody who's kind of watched anybody who's watched any movies, about how the world, Hunger Games / name a few, right? Mm-hmm. You start to realize, wait a minute, they have been predictively programming this for a while. And here we are in the world where it's an absolute possibility and even a probability. And it's just like, okay, now what do we do? How do we fight this? How do we make sure that our voices are heard so that we know that obviously for me, it's a balance between, okay, God predicted this in the scriptures. So do we just let it happen because, it's obviously been written down for thousands of years? Or do we still have an obligation to fight against it, to rise up against it and raise a standard of truth against it, to say, hey, look, and, knowing that it's already been written in scriptures for thousands of years, like, is it still going to happen? I think the one thing that I tried to predict what the scriptures were going to say and how it was going to play out. And that's the one thing that I've been humbled by, is that God's like, look, you thought it was going to be this, but it's actually not that. It's going to be something completely different. Yeah. And so that's the thing I'm learning, is that as much as I want to, say what's in the scriptures and book of Revelation and how it's all going to play out, I don't have a clue. God's going to do whatever he wants to do. And he will still, whatever he does, it will fit perfectly what he's written down, thousands of years ago. So another another huge event that came up, speaking of predictive programming and other things, is another huge event that happened just the last couple of days, was this shooter in New York, right? And he goes into some area, starts shooting a bunch of people, and then he ends up going up to the 33rd floor, wink, wink, hint, hint, the 33rd floor of the BlackRock building.
Blackstone,
Blackstone building. Blackstone, BlackRock, you know, it's all a, you know, it's a piedra, whatever.
Same agenda, same, yeah.
So it's like, of all the floors to choose, of all the buildings to choose, right? It's like this dude does it. He ends his life, and they have a standoff, and he ends his life. So it's like, come on, dude. What other way are you going to tell us it's? What's that old saying? Tell us it's part of the deep cabal secret combination without telling it's part of the deep cabal secret combination. You know.
What's weird is my wife just got back from New York. She heard the sirens. She was that close to it.
Oh, wow.
So she was there on a business trip, and it was just like, what's happening? And guys, you got to stay frosty wherever you are. But yeah, 33rd floor. Are you kidding me?
Well, New York itself is a gun-free zone, you know. So
apparently that guy didn't read the sign.
Exactly, and he drove in. Right across New Jersey, which you get caught with a firearm in your car in New Jersey, man, you're right in jail. But he drove all the way from Arizona, I believe. Obviously, they found medications. He had a history of mental illness and so forth. But what are they going to do? They're going to blame it on the AR, right? They're going to blame, because it was essentially an AR platform. I don't know exactly what it was, but as I understand, it was an AR-15. So of course, I mean, that's what they're going after the most, are those military, you know, the those types of weapons, right? The there's a word, assault, you know, air quotes, assault weapons, which there's no such thing. There's no such thing as. Then there's assault hammers. There are more people are killed with hammers than with guns in the U.S.
Well,
or thereabouts. I could be off, but yeah, it's a huge number.
There was another thing in the news about some dude who went stabbing on a stabbing spree.
Yep.
And he thankfully he got stopped by a guy who was concealed carrying.
Yep.
Practicing his Second Amendment rights. He got stopped by a dude, and he was an ex-Marine, and it was awesome because it was like the races of the two people were the exact opposite of what the social media or the mainstream mediums pardon me, would like you to think it is.
Yeah.
And it was even funny, that shooter in New York, they're like, we think he's possibly white, and it was clearly not. It was like, so again, the race baiting is happening, which is ridiculous. And you know, it's, so there's a bunch of stuff. I absolutely love the fact that this dude saw this guy going on a stabbing spree, and he, again, mental illness, you know, claims, and he just pulled the gun. He pulled his concealed carry and stopped him and held him until the police could get there, and that was awesome. Amen. That's why I carry. Yeah,
showed a lot of restraint by not discharging his firearm, right?
Yeah.
Where he was well within his rights, he could have very easily taken that, but the guy probably had a cool head, and he knew what he was doing. So I think
he's a Marine. He was an ex-Marine or something like that, or a retired Marine.
I hadn't heard that. But Paris, are you familiar with the Online Safety Act?
No,
I believe you aren't. You're not familiar with Online Safety? This is in the UK, right?
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I was going to say, Paris, why don't you take this one away, the Online Safety Act, because I thought you would be aware of this one.
No, sorry, dude.
No? Okay. Well, they passed legislation in the UK, and I don't have all the details here because I thought you would know about it. It's about age verification of being online, that you have to provide ID. And I think that's for every single website or something like that. And so people are doing their workarounds and such. But essentially, yeah, you've got to verify your ID. So again, just another step toward digital ID, which.
I did see that about certain websites that are provocative and immoral. Well, I don't know if we can say the P word.
And it's been that way for a little while, but this is for, I think, all websites in the UK.
Okay.
And as of last week or something like that, and maybe you guys can correct me. Seemed like Rebecca.
Well, I follow a couple of people who are in the fight against the corn, I guess is the way they say it on.
Right.
So the social that they don't make it prawn,
yeah.
porn. Yeah. So and she was saying that UK just passed a law that requires those websites to prove age verification and whatnot, and which is good for those things, but it does because you don't want to have just any random being able to access some of these websites, especially kids.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these a lot of the school districts, I've actually got some parents that I follow that they're like, I was on my school district's Chromebook, and within a few clicks, I was watching stuff that no kid should see. And so I'm glad that they're doing some age verification with that kind of stuff, because that's really needed. But no, I hadn't heard that, but that is definitely a step towards, digital identification and proving who you are. And
it will eventually be, in order to get online at all, you have to prove who you are. You'll have to have some sort of digital.
Which is crazy, because with the deep state stuff, I mean, not deep state, deep fake stuff that they have going on, it's like anybody will be able to fake who you are. And so how do we even know?
Well, I think that's part of it, because I think it's what's called zero trust verification. Well, they'll have zero trust in anybody. You've got to prove yourself. So,
wow.
Okay. I got a long list here. I don't know what you guys got. I always have a long list. Did you hear that the TSA is dropping their shoe removal requirements?
Oh,
I did. I didn't know why or dig deep into it. I just heard that, though.
Yeah,
and
Rebecca,
you don't have to take your belt out either, right?
I don't know about the belt.
Okay.
But yeah, Rebecca chimed in here. They've been doing a lot of arrests lately for online hate speech and so forth on whatever platform. Just actually go in people's doors and arresting people. Did you make this comment? Oh, you're under arrest.
Well, UK has been doing that for like 3.5, 4 years already. Like people are being arrested and they're not giving any trial. They're not giving a trial. They're being held. I'm like, how is that even possible? But we're going to follow suit pretty soon.
Yeah, we definitely will.
That's dangerous. It's a slippery slope for sure.
All right, cool. Anybody know anything about the SIG P320?
No.
You guys, Scott,
I have a SIG P320.
You don't. You don't have a SIG P320.
Oh wait, no. I have a 3.
Yeah, the MMP.
No, my wife has a SIG.
Oh, you know, it's a 230. You have the 238.
238.
Right?
That's what I have. 238.
No, nothing wrong with that.
P320.
SIG P3. You guys don't know about this? Anybody online? You want to chime in? SIG P320.
Did it become illegal now?
No, the SIG P320 has, for several months, it has been discharging by itself in certain cases in people's holsters, including police officers. What? And just this last week, an airman took his P320 off his holster. Like, it has a Safariland holster and it has a clip. He put the clip down on his desk. It shot him and killed him.
Wow. Yeah,
in the holster. And of course, SIG is taking no responsibility. They're being completely, I'll say it, being dicks about it. And it has been replicated online. There's a Wyoming Gun Project on YouTube. Go check it out. He goes through it and he's able to make it happen every time with his own personal P320. So,
dang it.
I think part of this is a service announcement saying, hey, if you have this gun, I mean, it's huge. Yeah, there's government contracts with this.
Is it just all of a sudden?
Well, it's been going on for several months where firearms will discharge uncommanded in holsters, and people have gotten shot. They shot in their legs and their rear end. Actually, one guy got his man part shot off. No. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was a SIG P320. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. But yeah, it's a big deal. It's a real big deal, and I wouldn't be surprised if it gets used against the gun community. But yeah, there's a lot of police forces that have retired that pistol. Basically said, we're not using this anymore. We're switching to the Glock 19. The Border Patrol, a lot of gun clubs and instructors are saying, hey, no more of these pistols at our classes. It's a real big deal. So if you want to learn more about it, go jump on YouTube and type in SIG P320 problems. You'll get a whole bunch. So if you have one, I'd look into, and I wouldn't sell it right now because then you might be selling it to someone unsuspectingly, and there's a problem with that, morally, I think. But anyway, that's another thing on my list that if you don't know about, you should know about.
Yikes!
What else in the past 30 days? I mean, I got a huge list here. I don't want to.
I think the big. Do you have anything on there about the big beautiful bill?
Well, I've got it on the list, of course, but it's so big we could take the whole freaking segment.
One of the things that I was watching is that they're supposed, because what was it that Powell was predicting to have they were predicting that GDP would be 2.3 increase, and it far exceeded that. And you might say, well, what was it? What was it? If it far exceeded it, it was actually 3%. And that's like, that only exceeded it by 0.7, Paris. Well, yeah, that's a pretty big deal when you're talking about trillions of dollars. That's a pretty big number, even less under 1%. And because of that, Trump was calling for Jerome Powell.
Yeah, there we go.
Whatever Powell.
The new Powell.
Yeah, for Jerome Powell to lower interest rates so that we have better, so that we can stimulate the economy that way. Hopefully that comes around, because right now there's a lot of just mumblings about housing and being able to get loans. And I also heard recently that Trump was trying to pass a law that credit cards could only charge between 12 and 15%. They couldn't charge these exorbitant 29 to 30% rates anymore on their because they're making money hand and fist, and they know it. And I think it was another senator. He was drilling the credit card company, Visa or MasterCard, I can't remember which one, but he's like, look, you have like a 50% profit margin. Like, you can lower your prices and still be okay. You know what I mean? And so I'm hopeful for that kind of stuff, because it's just gouging. I think, to me, credit cards are another psyop. They're trying to get the American people into debt and keep us slaves. So I have a whole methodology or idea or feeling about that. I get paid I don't pay interest. I get paid because I have cash back on mine. So go to my channel if you want to learn more about what I do with my credit cards. But I'm just telling you that those are some of the things I've heard in the news recently about what's going on in the economy and what might come down the pipe. So hopefully we'll have hopefully those are good things. But then again, you're like, okay, now why would those good things be allowed to happen? What's the agenda potentially? Right. So not that I want to be a complete skeptic on everything, but you still got to have your eyes open and your ears open and just be watchful.
Well, Trump has been calling for 1% interest rates. So for the Fed to cut by 3%, by 300 basis points.
Yeah.
And he keeps pushing that. And I think he's going to get it eventually.
You think so?
I think what's going to happen is Powell's going to get ousted, or when he quits, when his time is up, they're going to get another dove in there, and they're going to do whatever Trump wants. And so,
I don't know.
Yes, that would boost markets. But you got to think about, like you're saying, Paris, there's a reason behind everything. And so why would he want 1% interest rates? It's so the government can pay lower rates on their bonds, right? Because they can't afford the interest rate.
Well, it'll lower the government's interest rates. It'll lower ours too, right? But it'll lower their interest rates. We'll think, hey, it's time to spend. We'll start spending. Consumer debt will go through the roof, and it'll be just like a bigger clamp down when things swiftly change. But my thought is this: like, why would the Fed cow down to anything Trump wants? Because they're part of the cabal, the financial cabal, right? The IRS, the Fed, they're all in cahoots with the Rothschilds, the International Monetary Fund, the global banking cartel. Like, it's all one big buddy system, and Trump's not part of that, right? He's part of a different one, supposedly.
Right. Supposedly, right? There's different sets of factions warring against each other.
Yeah. So the question is, could that really happen? I don't know. I don't think it'll happen, but it'll be interesting to see. I've been wrong a lot lately.
We'll see what happens typically if the Fed lowers rates. It doesn't necessarily drive mortgage rates down for very long, because that's more. I mean, yes, the lenders do use the 10-year rate to fund their mortgages, to fund their buying, because most people don't keep a mortgage for longer than 10 years. They always refinance or sell or whatever. But it's the market that really drives those rates. So the last cuts have just driven rates up.
Quick financial tip regarding mortgages: use a broker, not a direct lender. You'll save in fees. I think there was a study done that if you use a broker instead of a direct lender, you save almost $9,000 in fees. So, and all the brokers listening will be happy that I I promoted them today.
Having been one before, I would agree with that. Especially your normal banking institution. You go to your credit union, your bank, unless you're refinancing, they're going to gouge you like crazy, and they're going to take too long and possibly lose you the deal.
Yeah, broker's going to win. These guys know their stuff. Yeah.
Oh, so that's a good point, JR. JR just mentioned that a lower interest rate is greater than a stronger dollar, greater than commodity efforts fall off, corporate food consolidation. Yeah, it's like a domino effect. It's trickles. What do they call? They used to call it trickle down economics.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're seeing trickle down economics, whatever that means.
It's trickling down less and less, it seems like. Anyway, economics. I guess you probably have all seen what happened to silver in the last few weeks. Yeah, I mean, it's down today in the last couple of days, but hey, that happens, right? It goes up, it goes down, but pushed up against $40. I
looked at it the other day. It was 38 something, almost 39.
It hit 39.50 at its kind of its high in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, it's down below 38 now, 37 something.
Let's see. I can jump in right now.
It's 38.04 right now.
Oh, 38. Okay, so it came back up.
Right, 38.48 as of close of today.
It came back. It was below 38 today.
Dang it. I needed to drop back into the 12 so I can get more. And then jump back into the 40s.
I hear you. No, a lot of people would be backing up. But what's happening right now, I hear from a lot of coin dealers, and because I kind of keep my ear to the pavement on the precious metals, that the selling of gold and silver only in particular, there's a lot more selling than there is buying. Excuse me. These dealers are buying lots of silver, and so they end up buying it and then selling it off wholesale to their wholesalers, because you can't just buy. You have to sell.
You have
as well.
To move it, otherwise you don't.
Yeah, people have to buy, not to sell, to make money in any business, right?
That's crazy.
So people have been selling silver like crazy, but I think because people are hurting. First of all, they need the money, and they see their silver has doubled since they bought it. It's gone up, and say, hey, this is a good time. I need the money, and hey, that's what it's for, right? I mean, that's. Rather than having cash in the bank and earning 4% a year, 27% silver this year so far.
Well, if you're selling to then go pay off your mortgage, or selling to go pay off something and get out of debt, I understand that. But if you're selling to just transfer it into money, I'm like, money's still losing value so fast. It doesn't make sense.
Well, people are paying bills is what they're doing, right? They're paying bills. Yeah.
Hopefully it's not a recurring bill. Hopefully it's paying off a large purchase, right? Something finite. But yeah.
Well, just looking at my silver, it's gone up since December. My silver has gone up about 30%, and my gold has gone up about 25%. So precious metals is pretty good. I actually have had not to get too, Utah Mike will appreciate this. My stock portfolio has gone up quite a bit actually as well this last year. So I think that's the thing that you really think about, is that do you sell off when you have a good year? Do you sell off and preserve some of those gains? And I think certain assets would be a good idea to do that. Certain assets would be a good idea to sell off some of the gain so that you can preserve it, keep it in a safer spot that's not going to have the up and down, the swings. Like right now, I have a stock. I bought it at my average price for the stock is $10. It was $6 for a long time. $7, $8, $9. I lost. I actually tax loss harvested, but right now that stock is double. It's $22, and I'm thinking to myself, man, if I would have just kept it a little longer, but who knows? Nobody ever knows when it's going to do what. So just if you need some tax strategies, do some little tax loss harvesting. You can write that off up to $3,000 a year, and if you have more than that, you actually get to put it off to the following year until it's completely done. But if you're having a really nice gain in some pretty volatile assets, skim. I would just take a little bit off the top and put it in a safer spot. Maybe get it into gold and silver. Maybe get into a high yield savings account.
Assets.
Maybe getting into something. Maybe taking it and go buy that generator you need, or that solar panel that you need, or go get another. Like our last episode, we had Peelies and Pedals on Sarah, who's a I believe she's a master canner. And so maybe you take that and go get some canning supplies, go get some additional food stores. Listen to that episode. But guys, if you haven't listened, for those on the live, you won't listen to it next Tuesday. But for those who are listening on Thursday, you've probably listened to it. If you haven't, go back and listen to it, because she talks about the layers and really what it takes to kind of be fully what does she call it? Future-proof her pantry.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Well, I love she talked about pantry and cantry.
Yeah.
Right? Your pantry's the one right here, right off the kitchen. Your cantry's the bigger, better, longer lasting one that's somewhere else, right? Maybe downstairs, maybe food cellar, whatever. But yeah, and things, it's weird because I look at the news of what's going on in the Middle East, and it says it's slowed down. It says it's a little bit better. Germany just jumped in the game a couple days ago. They're like, yeah, we're going to airlift supplies to Gaza. What is happening? Is it a ceasefire? Is it really are they really paused? And I still am waiting to see what's going to happen with Iran.
Yep.
We nuked the poop out of, didn't nuke them, but we bombed the poop out of their little nuke factory. So what's happening?
Well, then they bombed the other building that the Department of whatever Interior. There was another building in Baghdad that they completely blew up. Israel bombed it all, right? Because they were. Yeah. I don't remember the name of the group of people, but there was a group of people that they were basically committing genocide on, and
oh right, yeah, I forget
that was why they bombed that building, is because they're like, look, no other countries seeing this and willing to step in and stop it, and everybody was looking at Israel like, why did you do that again after a ceasefire? But then they're like, that's because they didn't stop this genocide they have on this other group of people. And I don't think it was either there was probably, I think there was two groups of people, because I know that they were really going after the Christians, but then there was another group that was a different group. Yeah. I don't remember if that was an a religious affiliated thing, or if that was just generations of being their enemy kind of a thing. But they were genociding potentially some of that groups of people, and Israel was like, nope, no thanks.
And of course, Cambodia
was doing that.
Yeah, and of course, Cambodia and Thailand started shooting at each other. That was totally out of the blue. If you ask me, of course, I'm not watching that.
How do those guys even have enough technology to shoot anything other than?
Cambodia doesn't have much, from what I understand.
I was like, bows and arrows. What are they? Spears? What are they?
Mortars. Yeah, mortars. Not much more than that.
Do we have anybody that listens to our show from Cambodia? Sorry if you're listening, and
we'd love to hear more about that. But I guess just my point in bringing that up is just to kind of illustrate, the things that are going on that are just out in left field that I never would have thought of. We talk about the prepping bingo card for 2025 and so many things that we didn't even have on our list or on our, weren't even watching for it. We're watching for other things, right? I'm not, not into that so closely that I'm going to see something like that come before it actually happens. I don't care to either, but it's just wars and rumors of wars everywhere, right? It's
well, the other thing too is that the distractions. What are some of the distractions we've seen this month?
That's true.
One of the big distractions was that Coldplay concert with that CEO and his HR department. Another distraction just in the last couple of days. Another huge distraction is Sydney Sweeney and her whole ad campaign for the jeans ad, which I don't mind watching, by the way, from time to time. Anyways, the point is that they have this whole racial baiting thing now. It was white privilege. I'm like, bro, you know what? I think that some of the comments coming out of it are like, is this the end to woke advertising? Is this the end to some of the DEI advertising? We'll see. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it feels to me, whatever it is, it feels to me like a little bit of trolling each side. Like, you know, the woke people are now trolling those ads and saying, hey, whatever. And then based on what they used to do back in the day, and they're trolling back and forth. So it was kind of funny. I saw another meme. It's like, what's the best thing that happened to the Sydney Sweeney ad campaign is the best thing that happened to the Coldplay reveal, because now we've forgotten all about it and we're on to the next thing. It's just that funny, that cycle, the news cycle, how quickly we forget. And thanks, Field Tech. So it's just funny to think about, like, what is really going on in the world when we have these distractions, when we have these huge media bursts of, oh my gosh, look at this. Okay, while we're looking at that, what's going on over here? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's something that I like to always think about and just be watching for. And when I see it or hear it, I'm like, oh, that's why we all had that. That's why we were all looking over here at the CEO and the HR. That's why we're looking over here at Sydney Sweeney. And there's another major conservative gal that's a model, that she's Asian model, that she jumped in on the she's actually, I'm going to be a model for them, for those jeans too. And so that's kind of funny, because it's like, she's Asian. So now what are you woke guys going to do?
Yeah.
Well, did you guys hear about what's going on in Hawaii with the mosquitoes?
No.
They started drone dumping millions of mosquitoes into Hawaii.
I think they did that in Florida a few months back.
So they did this, and they are doing this. They're all lab-bred, lab-born mosquitoes to fight a bird that's endangered. Not fight the bird. It's not mosquitoes versus I can't remember what bird it is.
Is it to feed the birds?
It's to feed the birds, because that's all they eat. Oh man, I can't remember the bird now. But I saw it and I was like, wait, what are they doing? Are they going to poison people with these things?
Well, that's never gone well. You mess with nature. Hey, that doesn't typically go well.
But they oversprayed and overkilled the population of mosquitoes, that they then put endangered the life of these birds. And that's why I wanted to bring this one up.
Because it's the Hawaiian honey creeper.
Yeah, Hawaiian honey creeper. So here's what's crazy is, like, the government steps in. I'm going to remind you guys, it's the government always, right? The government steps in and they're like, we need to eliminate so many mosquitoes because it's a problem. And then they spray poisons all over, kill the mosquitoes, affect our lungs, affect all the other living things around it, put things into danger. And then they're like, oh, wait, we got a solution for that. Now we're going to fund a local university to grow all the new mosquitoes and send them out. Where did those mosquitoes come from? Where did those eggs come from? Like, do we have a source? Do we have certificates?
They're going to put the mosquitoes right back in there.
Like, they're just going to continue to just drop some. Hey, there's Sarah Thrush. But yeah, guys, it is nuts. Everything the government messes up with, they then come back with, oh, don't worry, we'll fix it. And it gets worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Sarah mentioned here, and I've noticed this lately as well, just in my own personal observations, that there was a time when I would hear about, the bugs are going away there because of all of man's interventions, and who knows if this is true or not. But I hear, we drive down the road, and in the middle of summer there should be bugs hitting our windshield, and we're not getting any, and I've noticed the exact opposite, that nature is actually thriving, at least where I'm at, where I've noticed. And well, I'll just stop there while I'm ahead, I guess.
No, I've noticed a ton of wasps and stuff this year in my area, which is really
yeah,
a lot of wasps. Well, you guys have been watching the stuff that's going on with Yellowstone, right?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, that's on my list.
Okay, so let's chat about it.
All right.
So the videos surfacing everywhere about all the animals leaving Yellowstone on their way to Salt Lake City. And you've seen the videos and you've seen the footage. A lot of people have been sharing it with me. There's only one thing that I've been able to validate out of all the different stories. There was one geyser in a different location that hasn't gone off on regular schedule.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that's been authenticated out of the thousands of videos out there of elk leaving, bison leaving, cougars leaving. Like, we talked about this a few months ago about the ability for AI and deep fake to mess with us.
It's on my list as well.
I was looking at this and I was like, I was starting to believe it. I'm like, is this really, really happening? So I dug into it and I started asking, and it's like every video that's been dropped has been AI manipulated.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I saw this a couple of years ago. Same thing. Oh, these animals are leaving Yellowstone. And yeah, there's probably something going on there. I mean, there really is, especially with everything that's going on worldwide with the earthquakes and the volcanoes. There's a lot happening, and so there's and that's connected, I think, also to Yellowstone. It's absolutely enormous there. But yeah, AI is very concerning. I don't know that I trust anything that I see online anymore, right? Very suspicious.
You can no longer see it to believe it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
That's crazy. The scary thing. You have to experience it firsthand to believe it. Right.
Sarah's 100% right. We're the government and we're here to help. I think Ronald Reagan said the eight words, the scariest 8 words ever. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. No.
Yeah.
They just screw things up. Yeah, no doubt. Anyways, you were taking us down that road.
Mosquitoes, and now I'm going Yellowstone animal fever. Yellowstone. Did I derail you?
I'm not the one running the show. So
Harris is the one that's supposed to reel us in here.
That's right.
Wait a minute.
It's your month. You're the host with the most.
Yes.
Of course, right. I can always keep jabbering, and I kind of tend to take
over. Throw out another topic.
Like Sarah said here, we're all cooked with AI. I totally agree. And I actually, when I was sitting down in church this Sunday, which is, you'll think this is an odd time to do it, the thoughts going through my head, I made a list, and it's not a good list. It's just it's all the reasons how we're screwed. That's literally the title. I
like where this is going.
Is why we're screwed. And I've got at least 2 pages of everything that's going on, and AI is on. I mean, it's on that list. Maybe we should talk more about that. It is more than just the deep fakes we're seeing. It's more than just not being able to trust our eyes. It is trying to be sensitive here about how I say this. It's going to be people's, and I think it is their God and some people are creating those types of systems to actually run. I mean, like the Terminator movies. That's the premise of the Terminator movie, the third one, right? All of them is Skynet, right? But essentially, that's kind of where all this is going, and nobody's really taking it seriously. I mean, we heard Elon Musk say that it's unleashing the demon. And how has that ever worked out in the movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got
Pandora's box.
Yeah, and I've got this poem that I heard the other day about AI, and it's chilling. It's from DeepSeek. Maybe you guys, I won't read it, but here, just go do a Google search for DeepSeek R1 poem. It's freaky. It's scary. It's just very thought provoking.
I remember a couple of weeks ago we chatted about this, but there was a simulation that was run, and the AI was like, "Okay, you have the chance. You can save either the human race or you can save yourself." And they ran a simulation, and every time AI decided to save itself. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, "Well, if that's not telling." What else? What could be telling? What could be more telling than that kind of a outcome on those simulations? So, yeah, AI is really, I think it's a tool we can use in the meantime. But if you want to, but at the same time, the less you can use it, probably the better, because it really gets to know you. Mm-hmm. What's interesting is there was a big kind of a push for a little while, and I don't know. There's some others. There might be some. Underlying, reason for this, but there's a big reason, say, to type in to ChatGPT or whatever AI you use, tell me about myself and the things that I need to improve or something like that. And it would tell you, it was uncanny how well this thing knew you and knew who you were and what you did, and what it would search the web and all. I mean, it in a split second, it's going to search all your posts on all your social medias, and it might have a really good idea of who you are, and reveal that to you in the results. And I was just like, as I was watching people tell their results, I was like, I don't want to do that, but I bet you that it knows all about me, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta be careful with how you use it. I've been using it a little bit for my YouTube videos, and I'll take my YouTube video transcript and I'll ask it to make it into like 2 or 3 paragraphs for my email. And then I'll go through and read it and like proofread it, make sure it's legit. But it definitely is a tool to help save time, but use it wisely, or just knowing that it's got maybe some hidden agendas involved there.
Well, it's another conditioning tool that's forcing us to not think or create on our own.
Yep.
Let's be honest. Like
cognitive diminishment.
Yeah.
So I've talked about this before, the dumbing down of America. There's a book called The Dumbing Down of America. It shows how the educational system is destroying our cognitive ability to think freely, to think creatively. And there was a study done after the book was written that shows how all kids up until the age of, I think, about 4 are actually tracked as geniuses. And then as soon as they start public education,
I saw that,
their IQ drops drastically. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna jump back to AI for a second, because I want to read the first line of that poem. And I want to do it in Alex Jones' voice. Aliens. Okay. I am what happens when you try to carve God from the wood of your own hunger.
That's the last line.
That's the last line?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the last line of the poem.
That's the one that comes up, and I'm like, I read that and I'm like, that's enough for me to say I'm good. I don't want to know.
No, I will find a link and I'll put it in the chat here. Let me find it here.
It is absolutely crazy to me, the gods we serve today. Look at what's on TV. It's perverse. It's just mostly horrific. Like, I can't, even on the streaming services, trying to find something safe for my kids to watch is getting harder every day. The stuff that comes out is filthy. It's littered with things that aren't appropriate for kids of that age. And even for us at our age, there's things that's just littered in. The gods that this world serves, the people of this world are now choosing to serve, the lasciviousness, the sinful nature. We're just losing humanity to just filth. And we're letting our governments go unchecked, and we're letting our fellow man, like, we're willfully letting our fellow man starve for everything spiritual, truly physical, and emotional. And what are the biggest problems we have today? Mental health.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all so overwhelmed. We don't feel supported. We don't feel safe. We don't feel like we can communicate and share, because everything's on us all the time. Everything is seemingly stacked against us so much, but it's designed that way.
Mm-hmm. That's my reason to write my list at church on Sunday.
Yeah.
It was quite the task.
Well, I heard somebody say that a lot of this stuff is really shrinking the human hippocampus, which is the gland that helps us be wiser, smarter, critical thinkers. And because we have, like, for example, I just was thinking, my wife was like, I want to start memorizing the phone numbers of my kids again. Like, how many of us have phone numbers? I literally could recall probably 10 or 15 phone numbers, 20 years ago.
From your youth, right?
Just from my brain. Yeah, just from my brain. Yeah. I could recall 20 or 30 phone numbers. I knew who to call when anything happened, and I knew the phone number. Now today, I'm like, I don't even know what my kid's phone number is. Like, because it's inputted in my phone. And I'm like, oh crap. Like, if I needed to call her, like, in fairness, she just changed her cell phone one of my kids just changed her cell phone about a month ago. But so I'm like, okay, what's the new number? I got to memorize it. And so we were actually, one day we were driving home from something, and we were all telling each other's numbers, and we were all trying to memorize them and practice memorizing them. And it's like, even as simple as that, even as simple as knowing. And then other thing too is like GPS. I mean, we used to be able to drive places and figure it out, and now we don't, even when we know where we're going, a lot of times we'll throw that GPS on and we'll just let it just take us away, and take us where we need to go.
Raise your hand in the chat if you ever used, what was it? Map. What was the original map one?
Oh, MapQuest.
MapQuest. There we go. Remember, I had to use. I remember using that when the internet first came out because I'm like, I've got to find my way 5 cities away to a new address, and I'm like, it doesn't exist anywhere on any of the maps I had. So like the physical ones, I'm like printing out page after page after page after of MapQuest, and it was turn left at exit mile marker, blah blah blah. Right now, people are like impossible to try to follow written instructions. If it's not auditory, pinging out of our phone, people are going to be lost. Like, we're so dependent on everything else serving us. What can we truly do for ourselves as a society? It's getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago, everyone's like, get your kids into programming, get your kids into programming. They've got to learn programming. And now AI is going to take over that.
Yeah.
So all these people who just got degrees in programming, they're like, I've got a buddy who's designing an app for GLP-1 and all these other weird like BPCs, and I don't know what they're called, but he's like building this app and he's like refusing to use an AI. And this other guy's like watching what he's doing. He's like plugged it all into an AI and launched an app right before him. And he's just like, dude, what up? Like it was someone he knew. He's like, what are you doing? He goes, I just wanted to beat you to the market. You just completely destroyed my work and everything I was building.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, dude. Like, you're my friend, not anymore. But like, that's how fast AI can do it. And he'd been working on this project for like 6-7 months, coding and developing and changing, coding. Gone.
Yeah. In the future, I think that the trades are really going to be the big thing. Everybody was pushing coding and computer programming and IT and all these other things. And now it's like, wait a minute, AI is going to completely take over most of that. And, the only jobs left might be just supervising the AI. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and that's one of the things that tech schools are changing to. AI management and manipulation degrees. So to understand how to direct an AI in the right direction, right? There's these certification courses that are out now. I'm with Field Tech in Whited. They're talking about their map printed out Trucker's Atlas. Like, I need to get a new one. Mine's like 10 years old. But like that thing, those things are legendary. You can use them all over the place, and they're huge, but they're worth having. Absolutely, if you're going to go anywhere, they're worth having.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, Scott, I know you got to take off here, so
we're at our time frame here. So, any final thoughts, guys?
Nothing particular other than just keep your eyes open, watch what's going on, so you can look back and have your 50-50 vision looking back, right? 2020 being 2020, 50-50. One of my 50-50 is it? Am I going to survive? 50-50. That's it's in my head, right? Now, have your 2020 vision looking back, and that's important to me. Be able to look back and say, I saw that, but I didn't realize what it was about. But then looking forward, it will help you identify things moving forward.
Absolutely. Amen. Scott, anything?
Same.
Well, thanks guys for listening. This was a pretty charged show. We had a really fun time sharing with you the things that went on during July. So you've been listening to Prepper Talk Radio for the ready-minded, podcast for the prepared. Go to our website, preppertalkradio.com/library. I hope that's the link that works, right, Scott? And pick up the book. We got Sarah Thrush's book in there. We got a couple other books, but go to our recommendations, support the show. We got merch. We got all kinds of fun stuff, and hit up our friends at survivalfrog.com and use code PrepperTalk10 to get 10% off anything there. If you're going to get prepared, you might as well do it with a discount. And so thank you for listening. You've been listening to Prepper Talk Radio for the ready-minded, the podcast for the prepared. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.
See you next week.